Okay, so I just basically gave my logic for um, George St. Pierre and Jake Shields in their fight. And I just want to clear one thing up. Um, when I was talking about George St. Pierre's ego and everything, I didn't mean that, he had like a broad ego to where, like, he just thinks nothing won't happen to him. Like, he's not a closed, he doesn't have an invincible mindset, but, you know, I'm just saying, if I was in his position and I was facing somebody that was much superior than I was at a certain skill, I wouldn't even mess with it. I would just basically focus on the skill that they're weak in, which Jake Shields is weak in striking. That's the focal point I would be focused on, you know. Although I would still try my best, to tangle, with my opponent in his strongest skill. But I wouldn't dare like just put that out there, like oh, I'm not scared to go to the ground with him. I can submit him. Like, no, no, you won't. Well, I'm not. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say he won't, but I'm just saying, Saint Pierre is not. I don't think Saint Pierre is gonna initiate the takedown in this fight. For some reason, I'm not. But anyway, more on that later when I make my official prediction for that fight. Anyway, going on. This is another George's Logic. And this time I'm going to be breaking down the Mark Hominick Jose Aldo fight for the UFC Featherweight Championship of the world. This fight here is going to be it's going to be very action packed. I think it's going to be fast paced, as you would probably come to know from the featherweight division in MMA. I think what this fight is going to present is a case of technique and let's see, a case of technique and aggression versus aggression, skill, and I guess, yeah, I guess that's what, yeah, I guess that's it. We're gonna have the technique and the accuracy and the skill of Mark Hominick versus the aggression, the athleticism, and the I guess the how can I put it, the domination. No, not domination. I'd probably say the athleticism, the skill and the aggression and the athleticism of Jose Aldo. I'll say that. Basically, in this fight, for me, the way I see it, I actually see it as 50-50. I think either guy can win this fight within the snap of a finger. It's just all about, setting yourself up in the position to either land the right shot or, just make the right move. I think that's what's going to happen, is who is going to make the right move first. When I look at Mark Hominick and I look at the way he trains and how he's just, so disciplined and so technical and, so skillful with, what he does, it kind of gives me a feeling that, maybe Jose Aldo may need his match, because Jose Aldo, I mean, sure, he has uh, stellar striking skill. I mean, you know, his leg kicks are sharp, his punches are sharp, his knees are sharp. You know, he's lethal. You know, he's very lethal. But you know, um, I just don't think sometimes Jose Aldo, with the style that he strikes with, I don't think sometimes he thinks, you know, because in order to be a successful mixed martial arts fighter and to be a champion, one of the things that has to come, you know, to the forefront is intelligence. And not to say that Jose Aldo isn't intelligent, but you know, sometimes he just relies on reckless abandon to win him fights, which is working for him. But I just think with when you're dealing with a technician like Mark Hominick, I think sometimes that reckless abandon may not be the best thing. Because, you know, I can see as far as fighting is concerned, Hominick is a very intelligent guy. You know, he really calculates, you know, his strikes. He knows where to land the punch. He's very accurate, like I said just now. Um, so this could be this could be a very, very unique matchup for Jose Aldo. I mean, cause sure, you know, he's got the flying knees, and you know he's got the pinpoint combinations, and you know he can ground and pound you, you know, on the mat and everything. Sure, but the bottom line is that what's going to happen if Mark Hominick nails him? You know, we haven't seen Jose Aldo get hit. You know, we never seen Jose Aldo go backwards. We never seen anybody really be relentless and force the action on Jose Aldo. So, you know, that's a very very intriguing point, I believe, in this fight, or a very intriguing factor, is how will Aldo respond to the pressure, you know? And I know there's a lot of casual fans out there that, you know, really don't think of this a whole lot, but the bottom line is, people, it matters, okay? You just can't look at a fight one-sided and just be conclusive in the fact that, okay, Jose Aldo has more ways to win the fight, and that's how he's going to win. No, you have to look at it from everywhere. So, you know, that's a very intriguing thing I find in this fight, you know, because Hominick's going to be intelligent. You know, he's gonna be aggressive. He's going to press the pace in the fight, and you know, he's going to try to be as accurate and on time as he can. You know, and you know, Jose Aldo, like I was talking about just now about his reckless abandon. If Jose Aldo depends on that reckless, wild style of his, you know, he's gonna get caught. I mean, really, he's gonna get caught. The bottom line, you know. So I think what Aldo has to do is he has to be aggressive, but you know, he can't be reckless. If Jose Aldo can just contain his recklessness, if that's even a word, but if he can contain that, you know, trying to be wild and, you know, trying to prove something and in the fight early, and just, basically take what Mark Hominick gives him, then yeah, Jose Aldo will win the fight. You know, he will win the fight. But if he comes in there reckless and just tries to storm past Hominick, he's going to lose. Because Mark Hominick is too intelligent and he's too fundamentally sound for that. You know, he's going to see that coming. So I just think that, he just needs to be aggressive along with taking what Hominick gives him. If he gives him an opportunity to leg kick him, then leg kick him. If Mark Hominick gives him an opening for him to let off those combinations, then do it. If he gives him an opportunity to clinch with him and unload with knees, nail him. Even on the ground. That's another thing. Speaking of which, people tend to underestimate Mark Hominick's mat skills. I think Hominick is very solid on the mat, and I think he does have the capability of submitting Jose Aldo, because as we've seen in, I think it was maybe his last two fights before he beat Leonard Garcia, he submitted his opponents, and ironically it was off of his back. So that tells you right there, he's pretty solid. I'm not defending Mark Hominick. All you little sensitive MMA fans out there, especially the ones that are cheering for Jose Aldo, don't think, oh, he's defending Mark Hominick. No, I'm just basically describing to you the possibilities of the fight. That's all. But anyway, Hominick is very solid on the mat, and I do think he does have the capability of catching Jose Aldo. Now, Aldo, with that being said, is very dominant on the mat. He's very good at mounting guys and controlling them and just, basically blasting them with punches and elbows with the ground and pound. So, Mark Hominick, if Aldo does for some reason take it to the mat, which I believe he will, but not at first, but whenever he decides to take it to the mat, Hominick is going to need to move. He's still going to need to be active, whether it's on the bottom or whether he has his back, whatever the case may be. He's going to need to remain active, and if he can do that, he could possibly beat Jose Aldo. But as far as striking and everything is concerned, that's kind of dead even to me. Because like I said, let's be honest here. Jose Aldo is not the most technical striker. The reason why he gets the knockouts that he does is because he's aggressive and he's athletic. And like I said before, reckless abandon, pretty much. So, he needs to watch that. He needs to be very conscious of that because being the intelligent fighter that Mark Hominick is, standing up, he can easily move around and slip those punches and land some of his own. Because Hominick is very quick himself. People tend to forget that. But he really is, though. He's a very, active guy striking, and he's very technical. And I don't care what you say. The champion of the weight class could be probably the best striker in the division, but nothing beats technique. Trust me. Nothing beats technique. Technique is probably one of the most beautiful attributes to have in any form of competition. It just is, at least in my opinion. But anyway, that's pretty much how I see that going down. So if Aldo doesn't become reckless, he'll win. If Mark Hominick uses his technique, he'll win, and that's that.